Yeah,
People
disclosures
need
already
to.
happened. Look, we've had two former directors of CIA. You have two former presidents of the United States of America. You have a current director of national intelligence and a current deputy secretary of defense, and now a current director, NASA administrator, and also, by the way, Congress telling you it's real. Um, I don't know what else you want. That's disclosure. It may not look and feel the way you think. It's not a Hollywood movie. You're not going to get someone standing up at a podium and addressing the world. That address has already been made. You don't have to make it. Now let's move
Right.
on. Let's move to transparency. Other countries have come up with, yet Japan entering into a bilateral information sharing agreement with the United States for sole purposes of sharing UFO information.
Wow.
It's occurred, guys. That doesn't happen unless you have disclosure. So we're there. We
Right.
have disclosure. Now what we need is transparency, and what we need is understanding. And that's kind of where we are right now in the playbook. Right, and it's a shame because a lot of people get very frustrated, right? Well, I'm telling you, I'm pouring out my heart to you. I'm giving you my story. It happened. It's real. Well, okay, but still, it's like anything else. We need to have data. It's not just a perspective. Eyewitness testimony is helpful, but at the end of the day, what made this topic so compelling the last 3 years, it wasn't because some pilot saw something, it's because we had video and we had radar and we had the testimony, right? So, and what I want to say is I'm not diminishing anybody who's had a personal experience at all. I'm not saying that's not important. It is important, but also recognize that it's we try to approach this from a well, try to approach it from an investigative perspective, right? Try to ask yourself all the five basic interrogatives: who, what, when, where, how, and then of course why, right? And try to look at things that way, if possible. I We're just now getting into the topic of biological effects.
Mhm.
That's a big deal. I mean, that's a big deal. I couldn't talk about that for a long time. I now can to some degree, not a lot, but some. And it's coming out to light of what we did. It's coming to people are beginning to see. Wow, shit! You guys actually looked at that? Whoa, you got a report? Whoa, wait, a classified report and an unclassified report that went to DIA? What? You're kidding me? No, I'm not. And there's other ones. These are there are pilots, there are individuals, special operators, and ground guys and gals who may have come up a little too close and personal to some of this technology and have suffered the medical consequences because of it. And we owe these people an answer. We need to understand what we're dealing with, and it's not necessarily there's a difference between a biological threat versus a hostile intent. And I've said this before many times. Look, I'm a gearhead, but if I put if I open up the car hood and the engine's off, there's no real threat there. But if I got the car on and the fan blade's turning and I got belts moving around and I stick my hand in there, well, hey, I could get hurt, right? That's just a consequence of the technology. And so the same thing holds true with this. We just got to be mindful that we're dealing with an advanced technology we don't fully understand, and so we gotta figure it out. So hopefully people don't get more people don't get hurt. Someone first hears about this topic for the first time and takes it seriously, says, "Oh, I want to see what's going on," and they get on UFO Twitter. It's not a mosh pit, right?
Mhm.
Someone's got to come in and say, "Hey, Jane, hey, Joe, listen, you're just starting off. Let me make some suggestions on maybe where you want to start your quest, because ultimately you're going to have to do a lot of the research yourself. But here are some good places to look at. These are some of the people to stay away from. These are some of the sites that you probably want to you can get good information from. These are the ones that are a little bit more shady, maybe, scrupulous.
I
Um,
see.
that's what we need to do. And we need to make sure that we can treat each other with dignity and respect when we're having this conversation, and not always try to hijack the conversation. I know it's emotional for a lot of people. I know people want to know the truth. Hell, I want to know the truth, but we have to do this the right way.